Blog Talk Radio.
Drop that down! The whole fucking show! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! Exterminator! 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 Man assassinator! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! A damn shot straight to your brain! Straight to your skull crack! You get down to straight to your brain! Straight to your skull crack! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! I will fly high! Five-star frog splash! You can't stop me! Five-star frog splash! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! It's all about the yin and the yang! The balance of power that's in! You can't stop the yin and the yang! The balance of power that's in! Drop it down! The whole fucking show! Drop it down! The whole fucking show! I will levitate! Flip kick you in the yam! I will decimate! You can prepare for! Drop it down! The whole fucking show! 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 Drop it down! The whole fucking show!
Hello, everybody. Happy April the 8th, 2009. That is today. It's the first time this has ever happened. It's happening right now, and you're with the Van Dams. Say hi, baby.
Hi, everybody.
Sonia, one half of the Van Dams. RVD, her faithful, grateful partner, the other Van Dam. And we were gone for a while. This is the first show we've had in several weeks. Planning on doing just an hour. We usually do 2 hours. 2 hours is a long time. And I'll tell you, we had a challenge throwing this show together. Didn't advertise it very much. Not that we usually put a lot of advertising into it, but I didn't really send out the memos that we're doing the show till today. So I thought that maybe we'd compromise and do an hour because I thought about canceling the show. And I don't want to let people down. But we're tired. Fuck, man. It's like when I went to Spain all those times last year, each time I came back, it took me at least a week to recover. My friend James asked last night, what's the difference between being jet lagged and being tired? That's the way I can describe it. It feels like I'm drugged. I feel like a zombie when I am awake, walking around throughout the day, and then I just fall asleep at any time of the day for a long fucking time. We passed out last night, probably like 9 o'clock. I didn't even know. I just like laid my head down, passed out. We woke up like at 4 for a couple hours, then went back to bed like about 6:30 or something. It's fucked up. We got back Saturday night, by the way. It was an awesome tour. And we were in France. We were in Switzerland. I wrestled about 9 matches, which was awesome. Of course, you know I kicked ass. and had fun. This group, AWR, you can look them up. Their website has some growing to do, you know, more so even than the company, but it's American Wrestling Rampage, and when you look at their website, not the most impressive. We'll give you an idea who's there. Test was supposed to be on that tour. Unfortunately, 2 days before the tour, he passed away. We were looking forward to seeing Test. I just mentioned recently when I was doing an interview and someone asked what were some of my best matches I had up there in WWE, I was thinking about those kick-ass matches I had with Test and several others, Christian, Eddie, who's up there with Test, I guess. And anyway, Masters was there, Sabu, Gangrel, Marty Jannetty, John Heidenreich, Scotty Too Hottie, or that's right, he's called Scotty La Hottie in France. And we had a really good fucking time, and good group. Good houses, and of course it's a good group if they got RVD on the card. You don't hear of RVD working every weekend, and you won't. I'm not looking to do that. However, some unfinished business with AWR. Just meaning I'll be back for them. Today, we're going to talk about pedophiles. Heavy subject. And I'm actually afraid of some of the stories that we might hear. I'm just thinking, like...
Way to jump right in there, baby.
You like that?
Yeah.
You want to talk about France some more?
No, that's fine. We can talk about pedophiles. It's just something that we didn't hear about in France. You know, that wasn't in the news there like it is here.
Although, what about that sicko that, like, had his daughter kidnapped in the basement of their fucking house?
That wasn't France.
That's right. Australia?
No.
Where was it?
Austria.
Same thing. They're just missing an L or something. I don't know. It's, yeah, in case you guys missed that, this sick fuck had his daughter in a dungeon in the basement, walled off from the rest of the world for like 27 fucking years. Had fathered children with her and everything. This sick fuck had his trial and he's going to jail. Oh my God, what a sicko. Fascinated by that story, you know, just like that. It sounds so fictional, you know, but also on the news while we were overseas, President Obama stopped by France while we were there. So we didn't know the Van Dams and the Obamas were hooking up. No one gave us the memo. I hope he doesn't mind. We stood him up for dinner. But it was cool, man. The world loves Obama. They did not love Bush. America didn't love Bush, neither did the rest of the world. But you know what? Obama is bringing peace. I agree with a lot of what he says. He did say he doesn't think legalizing marijuana is a good idea to stimulate the economy. I strongly disagree, and I believe that we're going to prove him wrong. I know a bunch of numbers that you probably aren't too interested in, but it's a lot of money. All right, right now in California, where the economy is totally fucked, we currentently bring in about $100 million in taxes from our marijuana dispensaries. They're looking at lifting the control on that so that people over 21 or over won't need a doctor's recommendation, and they're guessing that'll bring about 10 times the amount, meaning $1 billion. Plus, it could save $1 billion by ceasing to prosecute, arrest, jail marijuana users and dispensaries and searching their homes and all that. So when you look at the numbers and really why not, and you weigh it out, I disagree with him. People are concerned now that he's going to take guns away. I'm not a fan of guns. There's so much gun violence on the news. Oh, my God. Like 5 or 6 cases in a row of gun violence. And everybody thinks the answer is put more guns out there. If I have a gun, I'll be safe. Yeah, everybody should have the right and the ability to just pull their finger and end someone's life. Sure, that's going to be a wonderful world. The death rate will plummet, I'm sure. Also in the news is this girl up in Northern California, this 8-year-old happy little girl. Last footage we saw of her, she's skipping across the street all happy. She goes missing and ends up found dead in a fucking suitcase in a nearby pond. That's all over the news. Nancy Grace is talking about it right now. How in the fuck does that happen? I can't believe not only that can happen, but that it's so fucking common. It is crazy how common. That should be something that you never hear of. A monster that could kill a little girl like that should be like legendary in a bad way, in an infamous way. That should be like the subject of a horror film, a horror story, not an occurrence that seems to repeat itself over and over and over again. And it's extremely common. Like I said, we have touched on this before. Some of you have shared your stories. We're going to fucking nail it square on today. We're going to be talking about it, and you guys tell me. I mean, if you know people like this, can you relate to it? Look at this, baby. I know you showed me this before. Pulling up, I looked up sex offender website. I Googled it, and I clicked on this National Sex Offender website here, and you punch in your address, and it shows you all the registered sex offenders around your house. Look at all these little red squares, baby, around our address. Look at all those fucking squares. The red ones are...
Oh, my God, the red ones are kids?
The red ones are offense against children.
Wow.
See, now sexual battery gets you on here, too, but there's none around there. So, okay, there's one right there. Rape gets you on there, some of them.
I thought there would be way more rape than offense against children. I can't believe how many offense against children have popped up.
In our area.
I know, and this is a nice supposed area. My God.
Look, this map right here covers what, like maybe about 8 square miles, maybe. I mean, like maybe like 8 times 8, which is 64 square miles. But anyway, I mean, there must be fucking 50, 60 registered sexual offenders, and I believe that most of them are not registered. That only means they've been caught. That is fucking alarming. Everybody that's listening right now, if you haven't done this, go to sex offender, punch in Google sex offender website, and then this was National Sex Offender or something or other, where it says find offenders. You punch in your address, oh my God. It's disturbing. I mean, there's, holy shit, it gives the addresses. Let me see when I click on this. That one looks extremely close. Dude, extremely offensive. Why is this so common? I can't imagine what it would take to take a little girl like that we saw skipping across the street and then sexually molest her, and then how often do they just kill the kid so they don't get told on because they don't want to get caught again because they're already caught, they're already registered, so they just kill them and that's their answer. This is what we're going to talk about today, and since I said we were only going to do this show for an hour, I'm going to cut my monologue a little bit short, and I'm going to go straight to the phone lines. Let me just check out who's here. Okay, it's the usual bunch, pretty much, which is what I expected. Let's go to Officer X, who probably has a lot of experience with this. How you doing, Officer X?
Hey, well, welcome back, my friend. Welcome back, Sonia.
Thanks, Officer X. It is nice to be home.
It was a good tour. Hopefully Sabu will call in and talk about the tour with me, but I haven't got a hold of him today, so there's a good chance that we may miss him. But I'm expecting some other people to call in. And, it was a really good trip. First trip overseas I can remember that I wasn't totally burnt out on and having anxieties about being away from home. It was good.
Oh, that's great. Everybody needs a break.
Yeah, no kidding. It looks like my break has been very therapeutic so far. So, listen, how often is it that a child sex offender is something that you have to deal with in your line of work?
In my the department every day, but I mean, I have very little contact with them doing what I do, but they're everywhere. The sex offenders are everywhere.
Right. Well, I mean, there's different.
They share your pain when you look at those maps too, because you don't know how unsafe your neighborhoods are.
Oh, I know. I'm going to get that official website so I can tell them, because they might not be able to follow my directions of going to Google and looking at another one. But, and there's different sexual offenders. As it says on here, there's rapists, there's sexual battery, there's other offenses. But the offense against children is the one that really stands out as alarming, and that's what 99% of the ones on this map are. they're fucking all over the place, like right here in my prestigious suburban neighborhood, and all around it too. That's pretty scary. So you personally don't have to deal with it a whole lot when it comes to the kids, but obviously it's something that's a big problem, right?
Oh yeah, and you know, it's the most abhorrent crime in the world too. I mean, it's just and the thing is, the most pedophiles you deal with, they're just the most condescending, arrogant assholes because they don't own up to what they do. Most of them don't think there's anything wrong with what they do.
Well, that's what I figure. I mean, I don't know what that feels like, but I would assume that they feel like it's okay. You know, like we've said before, you can't change your wiring. If you're gay and that's what you're drawn to, then that's what you're drawn to. And, you know, you know that I'm all for freedom of choice. I think that people should have the government and law, for a big part, stay out of their lives and let them deal, you know, with how they want to live. However, when it comes to something of horrible judgment, like fucking little kids, and if it's that common, it has to be people that just don't have the same guidelines that we do, and they think that they must think that what they're, I'm sure they're conflicted because they know society hates them for it, but at the same time, they got something in them saying, hey, you know, this is a good idea.
Yeah, it's gross. I remember before I was a cop, I worked in a prison for 3 years, and that was the worst, absolute worst thing in the world, having to guard people that were in jail for those offenses, because, I mean, a murderer could be a guy who had a bad day and he punched someone in the nose and the guy dropped down and broke his head, or a guy who robs a store might have been strung out on crack or heroin or something, but a guy who has sex with his kids or is, you know, and then ugh.
You told me about that. That's right. A guy that with someone close to you got in trouble recently for doing just that with his own daughter, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's familywatchdog.us is the website that pops up under National Sex Offender Registry in Google. And everyone, if you haven't done that, do that. Check out how many of your neighbors are fucking kids. And
I'm in shock.
Yeah, huh?
Seriously, I'm in shock. I could not believe how many red squares popped up.
And here's something, you know, you could get landed on that list possibly through different means. This is something that's also in the news right now. Have you heard about sexting, Officer X?
No.
I'm not surprised. Here's what it is. Sexting, apparently, according to Headline News, is becoming very troublesome and popular among teenagers who are...
Oh, yeah, I got you.
Okay, so they're taking pictures of their private parts, and they're sending it through their phone, texting it to each other, and there was a kid on there that did this and got a sexual offender charge, and now he says he's labeled, and you'll see him with the National Sex Offenders list, along with adults that are fucking little kids, because he made a bad judgment call, you know, when he was young and immature, and sent a picture of his balls. No, here's what it was. It was his girlfriend. He had a picture of his girlfriend. They broke up or got in a fight, so he sent it to a few of his friends or whatever. The picture, she retaliated by fucking sticking it to him, and now he has to register as a national sex offender. That's not right, is it?
No, that sucks, but there's different levels of sex offenders, too. Like in Massachusetts, there's 3 different levels depending on how disgusting your crime was, you know. Because when they first came out with it, like they had indecent exposure was one of the offenses that you'd have to register in. You could have been a guy just taking a piss after a nightclub closed, and if you got pinched for that, you would have had to register. And are you really a sex offender? No, I mean, you're taking a leak outside, but they've since amended some of that stuff, you know.
Yeah, you know what, that reminds me of something else I saw in the news. This town, I think it's out here in Laguna, where the train goes by, and it's like a big deal for the town. They all get together and they moon the train, and it's stupid. Obviously, it's stupid, but it had it on the news like it was a serious problem. The police are trying to bust them to stop them from mooning the passing by train, and you have these people talking as if you're trying to take away their rights, you know, as if you're trying to take their gun or you're trying to outlaw, you know, weed, you got somebody on there saying, hey, we've been doing this for years. We come out here, it's harmless. I only pull my pants down this far, and they're labeled as mooning enthusiasts. Like they're really fighting for the cause. It's hilarious. And the police were saying, yeah, of course we can get them for nudity, and they're cracking down on the public intoxication and urination laws, trying to break up the mooning gang. It's stupid, and the whole thing is stupid. To see 30, 40 idiots all get together ass to ass and pull their pants down, I mean, nobody wants that, but the whole thing is just stupid.
Oh, yeah, you're not kidding. It is nuts, you know?
Yeah.
But, I mean, but any type of sexual offense involving children is just absolutely disgusting and inexcusable, and it just doesn't make any sense, you know?
Even kids fucking each other is gross, and they don't understand that as kids. When you're a kid, you know, especially when you get to be a teenager, you start thinking everybody else is doing it, and you get really self-conscious about talking about your lack of experience, and it's such an awkward thing to go through. And looking back as an adult, it's gross, man. Those kids shouldn't be doing anything to each other, you know? It's not
sick
cool.
shit. Like, I remember when my wife watched that thing they had on Oprah 2020 on human trafficking, and that's as terrible as it comes too, you know?
I look out my window at the harbor that comes into Long Beach, and they said like something like 80% of human trafficking that comes into the United States goes right through there. That's a pretty scary number.
Oh, it's disgusting.
Pretty scary indeed, yeah. So.
Oh, it's gross. But I mean, there's just sexual offenders everywhere you go. It's terrible. I mean, you feel bad for the guy who's taking a leak when the nightclub closes and just gets a cop on a bad day and gets that charge put on him. But I mean, these sex offender registries are 110% necessary.
That's right, Daddy.
You said it, dude. All right, so we're going to go to Nikki Heyman. Holy cow.
Welcome home, Zen Meister. Good evening, Sonia. Officer X, how you doing?
What's up, babe?
Hey, Nikki. We're good, man. Thanks. We're glad to be back. But I'll tell you, every other overseas trip I've been on, I was so stressed and couldn't wait to get back. I had like anxieties about it. It's nice to know having enough time away from the road and having enough time at my house. I don't panic like that anymore, and it was cool. We even stayed an extra day in Paris and hung out and had a great time.
Awesome.
Indeed. So talking about pedophiles and sexual offenders, you know, before I left, they were talking about that girl in Florida. They're still talking about Casey Anthony, of course, and but then that other one, that was it Haley? They were talking about right before I left. You know, I come back, boom. Now there's another one in California. It's so common, and not just to have, you know, to touch the little kids. But then, fuck, why not kill them afterwards? That way you might not get in trouble. I find it unnerving, but I find it shocking that it's so fucking common. You know, I don't know if you have any stories to share with us about people you know or anything like that, but cough it up if you do.
Well, I'm not going to mention him by name, but I had one of the first shows I ever worked was in Northeast Ohio, and the promoter essentially didn't do his job, stiffed everybody. We had more people in the locker room than we had in the crowd that night.
Right.
And then he went out and pulled a McMahon, essentially took over the show, decided he wanted to be in every single segment. I was about ready to walk out, and a couple people had stopped me and said, "Hey, is this guy on the level?" I said, I've been talking with him for several months. You know, I thought we had something going here. I get a call sometime later saying that somebody saw his picture again on the Summit County, Ohio 10 most wanted list for sexual offenders.
Wow.
That's all I need. So I look up his numbers, and he's listed as a Tier 3 child victim-oriented offender. I kept the notes from it because he's been picked up. I hope he's locked up so tight. Well, never mind. I actually want him running around in a prison yard because I watch enough lockup to know that if they find out you're a sexual offender, the prisoners will come after you and put in their measure of justice.
Officer X, isn't it true that if you go to prison for fucking little kids, don't you have like a low life expectancy in there? Hey, motherfucker, Officer X, did you just appear on us again? Dude, he calls when he's driving around on patrol in his fucking cop car, and like he just takes off and like saves people and shit during the show. I don't know. Maybe he's chasing one of these guys. And he could be, but anyway, he found a kid on one of our shows that was missing. But anyway, that's what I understand, that they have a low life expectancy, you know, that other prisoners don't respect people that will hurt little kids, you know. So that's hopefully some justice in itself. But yeah, that's you know, that's a good story. I have to say, you know, as peaceful as I am, I know that if I had access to somebody that could take a little girl and kill her and stuff her body in a suitcase and throw it in the pond, I would have no problems or even second thoughts about killing him with my bare hands. I just know that's what it brings out of me. I would want to choke him and you know, really punish him. And even if I have nothing to do with it, if I was just right there at the right time and was exposed to the complete truth without any question, I'm sure that's how I would react. That's what it brings out of me, and I can't believe that there's so many of these fucking monsters out there. But they're all.
It's not just your neighborhood either, Rob.
Oh, I know. Believe me, I'm sure that's a point too why I say that I live in a prestigious suburban neighborhood, because it seems like this would be like one of the last neighborhoods that you would expect to have a bunch of criminals in. You know, it's
No. You know why?
Oh, you can't just jump in and act like you've been there the whole time, Officer.
No, I wasn't the whole time, actually.
Dude, we've been like talking to you for 30 minutes.
No. I had to multitask. You know how my wife has the funeral home. The auto mechanic died, so I had to facilitate that. So I had to put you on hold for a second.
All right, as long as you're facilitating.
But you know it is too. If you look, if you take your neighborhood, right? Take your neighborhood, right? Think about this. The majority of the people that live in your neighborhood have money for lawyers, correct?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So the people that commit crimes that have money for private pay lawyers generally get a sentence that doesn't include incarceration at the same rate as those who don't have any dough.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And when I say my neighborhood, I don't mean like...
No. I'm saying, I mean, I've been in your neighborhood, but I'm saying, you know, neighborhoods like, you know, single-family homes where people have jobs and money and a little bit in the bank, you're more likely, if you got some scratch and a pay lawyer, not to end up in jail, to end up on probation.
Right. Hey, have you been watching this new one that's on Nancy Grace right now with the girl up here in Northern California?
That's terrible, isn't it?
Right. They're questioning the pastor, you know, and I mean, I don't know enough to implicate him or anything like that, but, you know, that's definitely what the media is targeting you towards, making you focus on, is the fact that they went to the church and blocked the church off with crime scene tape while they interviewed the pastor, and they checked out some crawl space tunnel that was like underneath the church or somewhere inside the church, and then they also went and questioned him at his home. So they haven't said that he's a suspect, but the media sure wants you to think so. And I mean,
like every wrestler who dies on steroids, it's the same shit it sells, you know?
Well, maybe, but we'll see when it unfolds. I mean, I hear you. I'm not sure that I agree with you, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see, you know. It's just terrible. Bad stuff. Right. Bad stuff. But that Nancy Grace is, All
right. Well, stick around, Mr. Officer X. I'm going to go to Dario from Chicago. What's up, Dario?
Hey, what's up, Rob? Welcome back.
Thanks, man. Good to be back. It's good to be back in the ring again. And I was just telling Sonya, you know, the whole thing, it's just so natural to me. It's so easy, you know, not just being in the ring and wrestling, but the long bus rides, trying to find food on the road, trying to find a gym in towns, you know, and the whole thing. I've just been doing that for so long. It's like second nature to me. So it was all good. Positive energy, good trip. I'll be going back for the AWR.
Yeah, that's good, man. Good to hear you back. And
right on, man.
About those pedophiles, man, I don't think they should be walking back into society or anything. I think they should just lock them up in there because there really isn't fixing a pedophile, man. Just like those Chris Browns and those Bobby Browns, there's no fixing them and whooping their wives' asses. There's no fixing a pedophile, man. They should just keep them locked up for the rest of their lives.
So you don't believe in anger management either?
Anger management is a lot less offensive than, fucking a child. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Oh, for sure. I meant, the comparisons to Bobby Brown and Chris Brown. That's more what I was talking about. But yeah, I mean, I agree. But so what should we do though? Should we have like a place where we send pedophiles and just lock them all up together and keep them, or should we put them to death?
Medical experiments.
Put them in a nut house. Do medical experiments on them.
Yeah, I mean I think that's not bad to utilize our society that way. I've often thought about that. Like, what about war? What about sending a bunch of undesirables to be the front lines in war instead of our 18-year-old kids that are right out of fucking high school? I've always thought about shit like that, and I think that's not necessarily a bad idea, but obviously, it's one thing, as bad as it is to fuck a kid, it's even worse to kill him afterwards, and that's becoming too common the case. It's always on the fucking news, who fucked and killed this kid, who fucked and killed this kid. That's incredible. It makes me want to be a bounty hunter to go try and fucking find these sickos, because, I don't know, it's not that I don't feel safe with them alive, it's just that I feel like they need to be punished, and I just have this bad energy towards them, and I'm not comfortable having that. It throws me off balance. You know what I mean? It's an unrest. It's an unrest. That's the best way I can describe what it stirs inside of me. So, all right, Dario, you got any stories you can share? Either some neighbors or a story of someone that you know, or once when you were a kid, the milkman touched you there. Anything like that?
Actually, nothing about touching, but about talking about it. There was one time when I went into Dunkin' Donuts. I was about maybe 10 years old, and this the guy that was working there, he actually started talking about all this crazy shit, about do you eat pussy and all that shit. I was 10 years old. I didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. And
right.
I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And my dad was in the car. And he was looking. He saw what was going on because he was doing gestures and touching himself. And my dad walked in, and he was like, "What are you telling my son?" And he was like, "Oh, all this, nothing really much." And I told him, I was like, "Hey, Dad, what's he talking about eating pussy?"
Whoa.
He's like, he's telling you this? And I was like, "Yeah." And
your dad wanted to stock him right there.
Well, he took the box of donuts, threw it against him, grabbed the cash register, threw it on top of the guy.
Nice.
We just left. And my dad was like, if anybody ever says that to you again, just tell me, and I'll fucking kill that motherfucker.
Wow, no shit. Go Dad. Man, all right, well, thanks for sharing that story, man. That was a good one. And
all right, man.
You always got to be real leery about adults that hang around with young teenagers,
Yeah, I agree. I totally fucking agree.
Something's not fucking right. You know what I mean? When that's the deal, these guys that are 30 years old and they live at their mother's house and they never have a girlfriend and they're marginally employed, but they're always willing to take the neighborhood kids to a baseball game or a wrestling match or something, and they always have plenty of time for the kids.
Yep, totally.
That's the worst. Like the Ring Boy scandal they had one time. How fucking terrible is that? Kids get
Yeah. I got. Hold on a second, JMC. What they're talking about here, real quick, is Officer X is referring to the scandal in pro wrestling way back in the early '90s when I was just breaking into the business. In 1991, I had Brickhouse Brown telling me and the other wrestlers about what was going on. It came out to be a huge scandal. This sick fuck, Michael Phillips, was a ring announcer. If you guys remember, I think he was the only black ring announcer WWE had way back in the day. and they would recruit young boys in the different towns to come in and help set up the ring, set up chairs, or mostly the ring, I guess. And this guy allegedly would want to suck the little boys' toes. He'd have them setting the ring up, and then he would want to put their toes in their mouths, so he'd ask them to take their shoes off. I got to go to Fonzie, because Fonzie was fucking refereeing back there in the WWE at that time, and I know that he's on the line right now. I got Justin McCauley online, who I'm going to go to, and a bunch of callers that, that need to hold on for a second. What's up, Fonzie Daddy?
Hey, Daddy, welcome back to the United States.
Thanks, Daddy. We had an awesome trip, man.
Beautiful.
It was a really good trip, and first one I didn't get burnt out on in forever, that I can remember anyway. So
beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah, AWR, man. Be awesome to bring you out there someday. We'll see what we can do.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic. My passport's ready to go.
How about the Michael Phelps scandal? All right, whoa, that's a different one. How about the Mel Phillips scandal from back in the day with WWE or WWF? Because we're talking about pedophiles on today's show, and Officer X brought that up when the Ring Boys used to allegedly have their toes sucked and get fondled and shit by that guy. You were working there then, right?
That was just before I came in, and I heard the same stories that you guys heard, allegedly. You know what I mean? I've never seen it, but there was so much of it said. If there was smoke, there's fire. You know what I mean?
Right, of course. And you were not asked to take your shoes off at any time that you can remember?
No, Eddie Graham asked me to kiss him one night, but
Well, you must never have met Snitsky then. He loves feet, man. That's a whole other episode now. Hey, what up, JMC? Aloha, brother.
Aloha, brother. How's it going, RVD?
Fucking awesome. Justin McCauley is in Hawaii, calling us from the beautiful state. You're training for what, dude? What are you training for?
Dude, I came back here unbelievable, okay? It wasn't just for myself this time. It was for something else. And actually, it goes right with the topic tonight. It was for abused children and broken homes. And what I came out here for was my boy, Gino McCarthy, gave all his time and efforts to set up an MMA exhibition fight between Hilo, Hawaii, and Maui. It was Maui versus Hilo. And it was just a barn burner of an exhibition. 7 guys from Hilo came over to battle 7 dudes from Maui. Maui came out on top. And all the proceeds, 100% of the proceeds, and all the money that came through the door that night, Gino gave to the Wailuku neighborhood place for abused children. And he fought for free that night. He donated his salary as well. And I'm actually standing here right here on the cliffs looking over the waves at Ho'okipa, which is the home of HGA and Gino's boys. And he's here with me right now. And I kind of wanted to throw him on just to tell you a little bit about himself, his own little experience he had with a pedophile when he was a kid, because that's why he's doing all this, because he was abused as a child too. And so he's got a strong message for the audience today, and it's pretty awesome. So
all right, well,
if you will,
whatever. If we have to go over, we'll go over. We're on the time, man. Put him on. Does he sound Hawaiian? Because I love the way they sound.
No, he's actually an Irish Hawaiian, so he can talk a little pidgin, but he keeps it square. Hang on one second, I'm gonna put him on. Gino McCarthy, RVD, what up?
Oh, RVD.
Gino, aloha, brother.
How you doing?
Doing excellent. Fucking excellent. I got Fonzie on the line with me as well. And, my undercover secret police officer, Officer X, dude. So Justin was telling me earlier about this too, man. It sounds like a really great fucking cause that you did, and he was saying you had a lot of inspiration behind it.
Oh, it was awesome. Yeah, no, I'll be honest with you. God told me to do it. I don't know if you're a religious man or not, but I was abused. I was sexually abused when I was 4 years old.
4 years old? Fuck.
Yeah, by my mother's boyfriend, and it made me a little angry. I grew up scrapping my whole life, and
sure.
And I guess I'm kind of older now, but I just recently, the last couple of years, got into this MMA gig. And I thought, what better way to create awareness than take this violent sport and promote, promote child abuse? Not promote it, I mean,
stop child abuse, you know.
Right, yeah, promote awareness to it. I totally got you, man. I think that's an excellent idea, and I guess you already had the event, and it was extremely successful.
It was fairly successful. I was a little bummed on the turnout from Maui side. I wanted a little more Maui people backing this, but I think just them not knowing about it soon enough, or, you know, the economy's sort of tough right now, but overall, I made them some money, you know, and above all, I created a nice awareness of this whole thing, you know, and we're going to have a second annual next year, you know, and just it's going to be even bigger, and I want the world to know, you know, it's a nationwide problem. It's just not only in Hawaii, it's everywhere, you know, and I just want to let people know, keep your hands off the kids, you know.
Yeah, no shit. I'm with you, man.
One of the things I said in the video, they told me to talk, and God just gave this to me, but it was like I was sitting there, and I'm, you know, talking about child abuse, and I'm like, you know, if you're sitting there with your kid, and you're getting angry, and you're getting frustrated, I said, put your kid in the other room. I said, give yourself a timeout. I said, if you're sitting there with your kid, and you're starting to get creepy, put yourself in the other room. And get creepy on yourself, you know what I'm saying? Leave the kid out of this your whole little weirdness, you know?
Well said. Well said.
You know, I mean, it's how I feel. I mean, God said it through me, but right after I said it, I just started laughing so hard because it was too perfect. You know, it was like just put yourself in the other room and, you know, get creepy on yourself. You know, it was just, I don't know where it came from. That's why I was laughing so hard at first, but.
Right, no kid, man. Well put. That's those are good words of wisdom, a great message. You know, I was looking up on the sexual offenders website before this phone call, punched in my own address, and it must have been 50 or 60 child sexual offenders that were just like within 8 miles of my house that showed up on that map. It's what was it? Watchdog.ua or some shit. I don't know. I googled sexual offender website and it popped up. You punch in your address. So yeah, it's definitely everywhere. If it's here where I live in my neighborhood, then it's definitely everywhere. And unfortunately, it's on the news all the fucking time, which is why I want to talk about it today. It's something you know that I don't know that I don't know. I'm probably more connected to it than I think I am. I probably know people that that are affected. You know, but overall, so far, you know, we don't have any children. But I know that if I saw something happening to another kid, I would act as I would hope any adult with decency would, and knock somebody's head off.
Yeah, exactly. The last I checked the statistics, it's 1 in every 4 girls and 1 in every 6 boys. Now, this is only what's claimed. You know what I'm saying? There is a lot more out there that's not even people that don't even say anything. You know
right,
I mean?
For sure.
So that's 1 in every 4 girls you're meeting has been molested or abused. You know?
Wow, that's a lot. That's a fucking hell of a lot.
If you want to go online to check out what I did, you can go online at www.fightforthekids.org. Had
Nice. Do you think this will be like maybe an annual event?
Definitely. The neighborhood place of Wailuku, they had a board meeting the other day, and they're so extremely excited about what went down and everything. They said that they are more than happy to have a second annual with me. So we're definitely going to do it again. I just took Justin up to this camp up in Malahia, Kakaloa side of Maui, and 30 kids, young teenagers, went to this camp, and they were all up on stage talking at the end of the camp, and they're all saying the same thing, how they didn't want to come to this stupid camp and this and that, and by the end of their speech, they had tears in their eyes. They're saying, Mom and Dad, I love you. You know, I understand that, you know.
Wow, man, that sounds like that was a very impactful fucking event, man. So congratulations on that, dude.
It was heavy. It was heavy. I mean, there wasn't a tear dry in the house, you know. Even me and Macaulay were like, "Where's the tissue?"
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
It was good. It was really good.
Cool, Gino. All right, man. Well, I appreciate that. And that website again, what was it?
www.fightforthekids.org.
All right, cool, man. All right, good talking to you, man.
You can also go on bjpen.com right now. It's on the front page.
Oh, sweet. BJPenn.com too.
Yeah, I really want to up BJ Penn and his whole crew because after the whole show went down, BJ Penn himself was there helping me break down the cage, moving, like seriously sweating with me, helping because I didn't have any help. I couldn't pay any. I didn't want to pay anybody. This was all for the kids, and all the money goes to them. So him and his whole crew of guys were there helping me break the cage down, move it to the other gym where it came from, and take it inside the gym till like 11:30 at night. Like no problem. I mean, this is the light heavyweight champ we're talking about.
No shit, man.
Yeah, no, it was humbling. It was beautiful. It was God bless me for sure.
That's all. Yeah, that's all straight from the heart, man. You'll hear about a lot of fundraisers that are bullshit, and they don't really have much of the percentage of the proceeds going towards the said cause, and unfortunately, that's the case more and more often than not. Something like this, Justin was telling me, that once they covered like the expenses that they had to, 100%, boom, that all moves. That's the way that it is. If I ever do a wrestling show, I've been thinking, long term, somewhere down the road, not real soon, but I would like to do a fundraiser, for cancer, probably maybe even for the City of Hope where my wife got treated, but we plan on doing that, and getting sponsors behind it, and trying to make as much money as we can, and as much impact too. My friend Harry Slash from New York was talking about something coming up with the Ramones, done the same way, where the sponsors are taking care of the expenses, and everything else is going towards Harry Slash. What is that it's going towards?
Lymphoma research. They do it every year on Joey Ramone's birthday of May 19th in his memory.
Oh, okay. Because a friend of mine actually just called me or just contacted me and told me that he got diagnosed with lymphoma, and it's that's hell of a coincidence.
Yeah, Roddy Piper had it. That's why he had to stop working for a while, and he actually beat it with cancer treatments.
Right. We had dinner with him recently, and he was talking to Sonia about that. They kind of got together and had their own private little cancer discussion while I was talking with the hitman across the table. So we knew that, and he's going to be part of this thing coming up in May that I'm going to talk to you about later on, and then we'll get behind it and plug that. Comes closer to that date.
Cool.
Awesome. It's funny you mentioned the sponsor thing and stuff with this fight because I know for a fact a lot of people thought I was full of shit. And
for sure.
Sponsors, it was the hardest thing in the world. I'm trying to spit this. This is a very serious thing to me, but people don't quite understand when I told this one guy, 100% of the profits go to the kids. Within minutes later, she's telling me, oh, it's a good thing you're promoting now. There's more money in it.
Right.
I looked at him. I said, bro, I just told you 2 minutes ago, you dipshit. 100% of the profits go to the kid. You know what I mean? It's like
you have to really, and you have to really stress that because you got to set yourself apart from the majority of these so-called fundraising organizations who really have investors behind them that are going to take a piece of the pie no matter how big the pie is. They're still going to get, and that's just, that's, hey, if it works for them, whatever, but it's definitely not the best way to help out the cause. I have a lot of experience doing fundraising shows.
Definitely.
Yeah, so, hey, Fonzie Daddy, are you still with us?
I'm right here, Daddy.
Man, I'm so glad you called in. Man, we haven't seen you in how long? How long's it been since we've seen you?
When you dropped by and went to the fish aquarium in Tampa, I took care of your parents' puppy.
So, yeah, that's been almost 2 years now. That was that was the day after ECW One Night Stand, my last WWE match under contract, although I've done 2 since then. So, so I'm looking forward to seeing you at Kirk White's show on, is it May 9th? It's May 9th, right?
May 9th, yeah. I'm coming out on May 8th, I guess the day before they're flying me out. So.
Oh, okay. I don't know if depending on I think I'm coming up that morning but staying that night. So, cool. We'll definitely hang out. Bret Hart's going to be there. He's awesome. He might, and Bret might actually be on the upcoming AWR tour with me.
That'd be even sweet.
Yeah, that'd be even
sweeter.
That'd be awesome because Brett's a good friend of ours, and that's something that's not set, not signed yet, but that we're talking about. I guess Brett's been over there for him before. Yeah. So Fonzie, man, we got lots of good energy today on today's show, man, with this fundraising organization and drawing awareness to a horrible fucking thing that sometimes people aren't aware of. Do you, Mr. Fonzie, have any pedophile stories, whether it's just something you were involved with as far as talking to kids or an organization about it, or maybe even an experience or someone that a friend or family member or something, just anything you could think of that we could learn from?
Well, thank God, personally, I have never, been struck by that, nasty thing, and then I'm dead set against anything like that, and I would do anything, any fundraisers, because children and old people are like saints, you know what I mean? Like, I can't believe people, they just found that little girl in California was on CNN, they found her in a suitcase. We got a big case down in Orlando, Florida with Casey Anthony, who killed her kid and buried her, like a mile from her house. That's big news. And
fuck.
Did you see that douchebag was out dancing? She reported the kid missing.
Yeah, the kid was missing for a month.
And she's out of the club.
Yeah, it's a terrible thing, terrible. I mean, that's a worldwide problem.
She's totally disconnected from reality. I don't know what you call it, but the whole time, every time it shows her, it's like she doesn't even know herself. It's like she's got herself convinced it never happened. I don't know. It's pretty weird.
She's a better liar than Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
All I gotta say is Lord have mercy on these people, you know what I mean? They're just stupid. They're living for the here and now. They're living for the instant gratification, and they gotta understand that it's not about here and now, because here and now is gone just as we speak. You know what I'm saying? Time keeps on slipping into the future, and it don't stop for nobody. And they gotta realize what they do, they're gonna pay. I mean, look at OJ, perfect example. He killed his wife. He thought he got away with it. Well, look where he is today. You know what I'm saying?
I'm a firm believer in karma because I've seen it my whole life. I know what comes around goes around, I bought this newspaper at the airport the other day that was all about Obama, and there was a quote it had all his speeches in it, which are fucking awesome, man. That guy can speak. But there was a quote from there I was going to get to repeat on today's show, and I didn't get it because I'm not prepared, like I never am. I always sit down 30 seconds before the show thinking I'm going to sit down an hour before and write notes of shit I want to talk about, but it never happens. But anyway, he said something about, that this is a country where we have the right to live as we will, but we also have an obligation to respect others and treat them with decency. And that's the thing. I mean, there's a moral obligation just that's inside us. And yes, I do believe it was given there by a divine energy that tells us it's compassion. Somebody with no compassion that doesn't mind other people's suffering if it benefits their own life in some short-term way, that's a low-quality human being. I've always said that. I've always felt that way, and hopefully people that know me feel that I'm the opposite. That's real important to me. So, Fonzie, did you see that little girl just skipping across the road, all happy and playful the last time that she was seen?
Yes.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking, and it's way too common that people are able to to do that. They have no compassion. Justin, who's there with Gino, Justin asked me on a radio show recently, because he knows that Sonia and I don't have any kids of our own. He asked me when we were talking about the death penalty, how would I feel if an adult male had killed his little girl, which is a hell of a picture to put in my mind, but I know he went that far just to make a point, because we were talking about the death penalty, and he asked me, would I want that guy dead? Absolutely, and I would want to do it myself. I would definitely feel, the moral obligation to punch this guy until his skull caved in, and that's something that lives inside of me. I actually have a story written on that person that's inside of me because it's so different than the normal side of me. It's a twisted perception on everything, and that's a project I've been working on for a long time with that story. But it's the truth, and a lot of people don't think with physical abilities like someone like me. They don't think actually of punching and kicking and choking and whatever. A lot of people do, and a lot of other people, though, yeah, they want to see not only justice done, but they want to see that person suffer as well. It's pretty ugly. It's pretty ugly, and it's so fucking common. We actually do have a story, and I think I told this recently. We know somebody that came to us, me and Sonia. I wouldn't call him a friend, but it was somebody that we dealt with, a business associate that we dealt with a lot, that came to us and told us that he was in trouble because of child pornography. And as we talked to them and the story came out, he very openly and honestly told us he has a problem, that he's attracted to kids. I didn't know what to do. I mean, my jaw hit the fucking ground, and I didn't know what to do. I felt a responsibility to not let this guy in society. I followed up. I kept calling him, saying, are you calling for help? And first he said, well, all the helplines are for victims. I don't find any for people like me that just have this going on but haven't acted upon it. And I'm like, no, that can't be right. We did our own work. We found some websites, some shit. And eventually he quit calling me back, and I lost touch with him. But when I think about that experience, it shocked me. This was, like I said, a business associate, someone that we dealt with on a daily basis, and I never fucking expected it.
Never, ever expected it, ever.
RVD, Chris Hansen on Dateline NBC, he does those setups, and he gets so many different people. I mean, teachers, lawyers, doctors, policemen, the construction workers. Man, it's just I don't know what it is about people and the young kids, man. It's a terrible thing, I don't know if it's a disease or fucking I don't understand it.
It's a choice. I don't care what people try and say. It's a choice. You choose to get creepy on somebody, you're choosing it, you know what I mean? It's as simple as saying, I'm addicted to cigarettes, I can't stop smoking. Bullshit.
It's so funny. As soon as you said it's all about choice, that's exactly where my mind went. I thought it's exactly like smoking cigarettes.
No, I'm not letting any one of these skizzly, weaselly, creepy sons of bitches off the hook. You put any one of them in the ring with me, and I'll fucking beat the shit out of them. Excuse my language, but I mean, I'm telling you.
Well, I wish I could, but I don't have, I can't. Who are they? They're everywhere.
Well, they wouldn't get into the ring with you because they're so cheesy and weaselly. You know what I'm saying?
Well, like Fonzie said, I mean, it's everybody. There's doctors, there's priests, there's fucking teachers. Teachers are in the news all the fucking time now. Teachers for fucking the kids, and quite often female teachers fucking male kids, and then that brings up a whole nother argument. Like, well, it's not as bad as if it was flip-flopped the other way. And I have to agree, and you guys can tell me if you're wrong. It is bad. It's very bad. However, I don't think if your 15-year-old boy was had sex with an adult teacher, I don't think that it would be as bad, as harmful to you and your family as if it was a girl and a male teacher. Maybe I'm wrong about that, and I'm not excusing it. They're both way fucking wrong. They're fucked up, and there's consequences, that the kid has to pay. But I do agree with that argument, but not to the point, where people are looking at teachers like, man, well, she's hot. Where was she when I was a kid? And obviously that's a serious problem, too. And on Dateline, like they showed you, it's fucking everybody. It's everybody you wouldn't expect. They show up at a house thinking that they're going to meet some 14-year-old girl and have sex with them. They bring rubbers. They bring alcohol. They think the parents are like out of town, so they're coming over to their house. Dude, if I came home and somebody was in my house with those intentions, he would not walk out.
Can you fucking imagine? Seriously. But how about these assholes that go on these child sex tours to Bangkok and all these other places? We're in those brothels in those countries.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, they think they're getting away with something. I'm telling you right now, they're not getting with nothing. I don't know. I don't want to offend anybody who's not religious. I believe in God, or you can be a Buddha, believe in karma, whatever it is. But I'm telling you, you're not going to get away with it whether you think you do or not. You know, you did it. The action is done. Now you just got to wait for time for the repercussions because they're coming. You know,
I've said this. Yeah, I've said this before on this show, and I should repeat this right now. This is anybody that's listening right now that might be a pedophile that has molested in a sexual way an underage kid, and definitely if you continue to do that currently, and if you're not really sure where to get help or you're not really sure what to do and you want some advice, kill yourself.
Beautiful. I'm gonna vouch for that. Definitely. Hi, Keith.
Yeah. Don't bother clogging up our jail systems and repeating your fucking offenses. Just do everybody a favor. Kill yourself.
Just put the gun to your head and pull the trigger.
If you want to do it on the radio, I will even fucking put it live on the air. That'd be awesome, wouldn't it?
That's got to be one of the best things I've heard in a long time.
We'll put it on the air, have someone say, look, I have a gun, I'm not kidding. I fucked all the neighbors' kids and they don't know and whatever. Boom, that'd be awesome.
Yeah,
we got Officer X.
Repeat shit and blow your head off. Exactly.
And we got Officer X online. We've already notified the authorities, and you can get the drunk monk, give him his last rites. That'd be awesome.
It'd be awesome.
Oh, I tell you, though,
it's coming from a molested child. I'm backing that 110%. I was molested as a child, and the shit I had to deal with and go through. I don't want any child to have to feel that.
So this is for the pedophiles, because although I've always been told I've always been told to plug the number through the show, but I never bother because I always had a bunch of calls and we're all long-winded with answers. But for the pedophiles, here you go, 347-308-8754. We'll put you right through.
Anyone? Anyone? Bueller? Anyone?
Yeah. Can we get to a 3-month membership at LA Boxing?
I'm sure that Justin would sponsor that as well. So this guy that I'm going to did not just call to take me on that offer. He's been on hold the entire show, but I'm going to go through some of the callers. I'm going to start with Michael Porter. How you doing today?
Hey, Rob. Welcome back to the United States of America.
Thanks, man. It was an excellent trip over there in France and Switzerland. I got to tell you, that's as far as the stress amount and my anxieties from traveling and being away from home, the best trip I can remember in a long fucking time. And it was all good. It was all good, Eddie. So, yeah, I got your message, and thanks. We're glad to be back. And we're doing this show next Wednesday. There's something else I want to do Wednesday evening. There's a Hollywood Heritage Night. I belong to the Hollywood Heritage Club, and they're having a Errol Flynn Mulholland Farm night where a guy that wrote a book on him is talking about all the parties he had on his house on Mulholland Drive, and I want to mark out and go do that. So hey, look for an announcement. Maybe we'll be trying it at a different time next week, special time, maybe earlier in the day, maybe a different day of the week. Maybe we don't do it. I don't know. We'll probably do it, though. But maybe we'll do an hour. Who knows? I said an hour today. We've already gone over an hour. It doesn't look like I'm stopping anytime soon. So still here, dude. Still here. So Michael Porter, you shared a story with us that we have not forgotten here at RVD Radio about how when you yourself were molested as a youngster.
Yeah, I was molested by my best friend's father, and I also let you know that he was arrested and found guilty of molesting over 520 young boys my age. You know, this happened to me. I was still in my single digits of age, and he was, of course, sent to prison. He got life. But
for all you listeners that don't want to do the math, single digits means 9 or younger.
What a douchebag.
Seriously. And
unfortunately,
520
he
kids?
died in prison of cancer, so he...
Well, okay, I mean, that's karma, I guess,
Yeah.
What a fucking monster, dude. I mean, that's a lot of kids. If you figure 30 kids in a classroom, that's still like 50 classrooms worth of kids, if I did the math
the whole
right
school
there.
district.
Oh, yeah, it's way more than that. 50 times 30, I don't know. Someone stop me. I don't feel like doing the math.
That's about 1,500, I think.
I tap. I got jet lag. Okay, so that's a lot of fucking kids, man. Holy
That's crazy.
shit.
How do they get away with it that long? They con the kids, and they drill into the kids' minds that it's okay, and until they get caught, man. Thank God they're passing stronger laws and putting these people in jail longer and giving them harsher sentences that they can't get hard enough for me. Hopefully.
This guy did this in the late 50s and early 60s.
How did he have access to that many kids?
Well, his son was pretty popular, and he had a lot of friends, and a
500
lot of the
friends?
other youngsters, a lot of the other boys were also friends. This guy was a businessman. He was a businessman, so he had a lot of customers, and sometimes the customers would bring their families. And one of the things that suckered me in was he would have me pass out flyers, put flyers on people's doors in all these neighborhoods, and he promised me like a baseball glove or something like that,
Right.
And I did it for like 3 days, and I got this, baseball glove that I could have bought someplace for $4 or $5. It was flimsy, but that wasn't, that didn't matter. What he did and how he really suckered me in was he got a friend of his who was a pilot to give me an airplane ride, my very first airplane ride. It was a 2-seater, so it was the pilot and me. While I was waiting for the pilot was one of the times that he did this.
I got to ask it, man. Are you going to tell us you're in the Mile High Club?
Oh, no.
No,
I'm in the Mile High Club, but not in that way. When I was with the old WWF, one of the stewardesses, I think they call them flight attendants now, kind of surrounded me in the restroom. She followed me into the restroom because it was right around my birthday.
Okay. Wow. So,
but anyway,
dude, I'll tell you, I think 500 friends is a decent amount on MySpace. I mean, how popular was this fucking kid? I can't imagine myself rounding up that many people that I even know.
Well, it wasn't, they weren't all friends of his. They, a lot of them were his friends. Others were friends of friends or acquaintances of his son or schoolmates of his son.
That's an amazing number to get away with without getting, going through all those kids and finally getting caught. That's unbelievable numbers. My goodness.
It was, because I remember when he was arrested. Of course, it was on the front page news of the paper. I lived at the time in Chico, California, about 100 miles north of Sacramento, and of course, it was a huge scandal. And
yeah, wow.
Another piece of karma that happened before he went to prison, but his business burnt to the ground.
Oh shit!
I wouldn't be a bit surprised if it might not have been started by maybe one of his victims.
Right. That sounds like a movie. I think I saw a movie based on that. I don't know. Definitely though. That is a fucked up story, and unfortunately, there's over 500 other kids that have the same story from the same guy right there. That fucking takes out. That would feel wow. That's a lot, and there's a lot of victims and only one predator with that one. So that's something too. When I think about 50 to 60 different child sex offenders that I can see on this sexual offender map of my area here, can you imagine if each one of those predators has 500 victims, even if they each have 3 or 4, whatever. I mean, I just hadn't even really thought about that, but that is a lot of fucked up kids.
Well, I just went to that website
why don't you
myself.
take yourself off of mute and talk to us, because I know that you got some passion about this, and you add a lot of quality to the show with your voice.
Well, I don't know about that, but thank you for saying that, and I also want to thank you.
That was for Nikki, dude. Don't take that. That was for Nikki. I was asking her to take herself.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Too. I don't think she understood either because she didn't do it. Oh, Nikki.
But before I go, I want to thank you for coming to my radio show back on March 15th, the day before you left for the tour. And being a part of my Wrestle Shoot show. It was
Absolutely,
amazing.
Dude. Glad I was able to do that, man. And
it is now the second highest number of downloads, of archive downloads. And you were the highest number of live listeners and the highest number of callers and the highest number in the chat room of any of my shows.
Awesome. All right, cool, man. Well, thanks for those statistics. RVD's popularity obviously not going anywhere, as I learned when I was over in France, because I never wrestled in France before, so you never know for sure until you get out there and hear them all screaming, RVD, parlez-vous français? Nikki, Blog Talk Radio producer. Nikki, how are you tonight?
I'm okay. What do you need, babe?
I just wanted you to comment on this show, on the show on pedophiles, because you're hitting me with some instant messages that are pretty good, and I thought you should share them. You think there's a lot going on with adults preying on the minds of these kids because they're easy prey, right?
Yes, because a 9-year-old brain, is not like an adult brain, Rob. It's not. And
I know that. I totally agree. And we actually had a friend, a girl that we knew that when she turned 18 years old, she I don't know, did she wait till she was 18? She took off with this guy that was like 53 or something, and it just disappeared like her parents, she disowned herself from her parents and shit. And it turned out that he had been talking to her for at least 5 years, if not more, on the internet. And
what a fucking asshole.
Yeah, I know, dude. We actually went looking for him, and that's a story that I'm not going to share. But turns out, you couldn't change her mind, man. She wanted to be with him. Her mind was made up. He'd been working on her since she was 13 or maybe even younger. And I think they're fucking married now, and it's yeah. And we could not convince her how crazy that was. She hated her parents.
My main thing, like what I'm typing to an AIM, because I can tell you I was cussing and everything, just so y'all know. There's no justification in it. All right. If you're an adult, do not touch the child. I don't care if you've been abused. Break the cycle. Don't touch the child.
Right, and I mean, I don't know, and I can't imagine what that temptation would feel like any more than I can imagine what it would feel like to want to fuck a donkey,
I don't care. I don't care what it feels like. Shut the fuck up and don't touch the child.
Right, yeah.
I
agree.
You know what? If that's what you're attracted to, go away, all right? Become a nun, become a monk, I don't care. Become a priest. Don't touch the child.
I'm afraid that might be what happens too often when we keep seeing priests and, pastors getting busted for being child molesters. There's been a huge scandal in the churches over that. They may be people that joined trying to run from these drives that they have, and they're quote demons inside of them, and they may have been looking for an escape by joining the church, and end up with using that as the outlet after all, and they end up doing much more harm that way.
You might be right, but let's think about this, okay? And I know that Daddy's on and Officer X is on, and Rob and SCD is here. Let's talk about this. How can we fix it, okay? Because there are sick people out there who are attracted to children, all right? There are. You guys might not want to, agree. But
That's right, Daddy.
Fix it. How can we fix it?
Every time an incident happens, like a kid gets killed or molested, and we bust them, we tighten up the laws a little more. So as time goes by, the laws are getting heavier and heavier, and hopefully they continue that way. And the only way we can do it, I guess, is deter these people. But it's a sickness. I'm not saying it's a sickness, but we got to reach these people somehow. I mean, put them in jail for longer periods or stronger penalties, or I don't know if that's going to deter them, but that's what I think we can do is just toughen up the laws and hang them. Well,
wait, how about this?
Go ahead.
How about this, all right? Rob, how about this, okay? So, it's about 90% of the people who are abusers were abused, okay? How about reminding them how they felt when they were abused? I'm just saying, all right? If you were abused, it sucks, because I was. It sucks worse than you could ever know. So I will never do it again because I remember how it felt to be abused. How about we remind them how it felt so that they don't ever want to do it again?
Okay, but it sounds to me like you're saying we should try reasoning with these sickos, and of course we have to draw a line between people who just fuck kids and people who also murder and bury the kids after they fuck them. I know there's a line there, but when it comes to the mind, and you think about these people that are capable of committing these atrocious acts, such as fucking little kids or such as murdering and burying them, I don't think reasoning and reminding them, of that there could be consequences is going to be enough.
Okay, but wait, maybe if you start early, I'm just saying, okay? It's like maybe the 30-year-old, if somebody would have got to him when he was 12, this is what I'm saying. I understand you can't do it after the fact. I do, but if somebody would say to that 12-year-old, it's not your fault you were abused, just don't do it again because then it's going to be your fault. You see what I'm saying? There has to be a way to stop the cycle. There does. I don't know what it is. I'm just throwing that out.
That's right, Daddy.
Nikki, my mom actually used to teach kids that were abused and have already abused other children. And it's heart-wrenching and it's heartbreaking, but, I mean, there are programs out there that are trying, but it's a vicious cycle.
It is. But what is it that makes your mind click and say, oh, my God, I remember how it felt when I was 4. I never want anybody to feel that way again. Do you see what I mean, SED? What is it that clicks in your mind that says, I'm breaking the cycle? That's what we have to figure out.
We're going to have to upgrade from having from Officer X to maybe a psychologist, on-hand psychologist.
And I don't know anything. I'm just asking questions. I thank you for letting me.
Awesome. All right. Well, obviously, Nikki's very passionate about this. Blog Talk Radio producer Nikki just screaming her questions out tonight. And yeah, I mean, it's something that there's no room for tolerance for these sick motherfuckers. There's really no understanding them for me. But as common as it is, I find it hard to believe that more people that are calling in or listening can't relate a lot more than they want to admit. You know what I mean? And who knows, maybe we'll get that phone call from the pedophile that wants to off himself or herself on the air. That'd be cool. I bet you that'd be our most downloaded archive ever, Billy calling from Mississippi, I think legal age to marry there is 12, isn't it?
I don't know. I'm not married yet.
Right on, dude. Well, congratulations, you sexy swinging single. How you doing tonight?
Good tonight, man.
I got Fonzie Daddy on the line, and Officer X, and Harry Slash, and fuck, man, we're all listening. We're going. It was supposed to be a 1-hour show. We've gone 20 minutes over right now. We might be wrapping it up pretty soon. I don't know. We're pretty flexible like that. How you feeling, Sonia? SVD's got some stamina going. She's all right so far. So, Billy, we're talking about pedophiles tonight, man. How you feel about this whole issue?
Terrible. It's gross.
You watch that Dateline NBC where all those sick fucks show up at the house hoping to fuck little kids?
Yeah, all the time. It's terrible. And it's the repeat offenders. It's like people that are teachers and all this kind of crazy stuff. You know how you got to break the cycle, though? Is you got to keep control over what the kids are looking at on the internet.
Well, yeah, I mean, and speaking of, this sexting is something that they're doing too. Besides controlling what they do on the internet, every kid has their own cell phone now, and they're able to take pictures of themselves naked and send it to each other. That's something, I mean, I'm sure when I was a kid, if I would have had a cell phone, I would have taken a picture of my ass and I would have sent it to my buddies. I'm pretty sure I would have done that. I definitely don't think girls should be showing themselves naked when they're in junior high or high school, and it is something that should be punishable. I believe they should go on some kind of probation if they get busted for it. Officer X, I definitely want to hear your opinion on this, but being charged as sexual offenders, that's not right. Officer X, are you with us? All right, he's going to be with us. Here's his music. Officer X, are you with us?
I'm with you.
He's multitasking. What was it he said he was doing earlier? Not exfoliating. He was what was he doing? He was fixating something. Fuck. I want to ask Nikki, but she's gone. No, where'd she go? There's not Blog Talk Radio, Nikki. Nikki Heyman left, and she popped it to Harry / help me out, man. He sent me something on REO Speedwagon. I don't know. He'll tell us. He's Officer X. He's just going to chime in. Multitasking, but he used a fancy word for it, and it was awesome. Oh, my God. My phone's ringing in my hand. That's freaky. And the caller ID, it's Justin Sano. Oh, he thinks we're done because I told him it was a 1-hour show. Tell him to call back on the show if he wants. Justin McCauley. Oh, okay. Now I have completely lost my concentration. Officer X isn't there, and I was talking about...
Yeah, I'm here, brother. I'm here.
Oh, fuck. Wait, hold on. Officer X is back. Let's get his music going. Officer X, thanks for rejoining us.
I'm with you, bro.
At least you're not texting me this week saying take me off mute when you're not on mute. You're just off. Hey, what was it you were doing earlier? Not multitasking, but when earlier when I said we'd been talking to you for a half hour and you weren't there.
Oh, yeah. You know, my wife has the funeral home where the auto mechanic died, so I had to take care of that, make sure that everyone got to talk to everybody, and also she could take care of the funeral.
Were you finagling or something?
Oh, shit, what was I doing? I was facilitating.
I gotta know what the word was, that's all, man.
Hey, Justin still on?
He's calling right back in a moment. Right now you're on with RVD.
Oh, nice.
RVD, motherfucker!
That's right, Daddy.
Yeah, that was a shoot. That's right, Daddy. So, Officer X, my question to you, sexting, that shouldn't be a sexual crime, right? You should go on probation or something like that. Even if you're a high school kid, you take a picture of your cock and send it, you should be punished, but not with a sexual offender crime, right?
To an extent, but I mean, you got to be careful because you got to. It's horseshit. I mean, I can understand what the kid's doing. It's funny stuff to them, but it's not funny when the girl's parents find out about this shit. You know.
Oh, I agree, and I don't. Of course, you know that's why they should be punished. They should go on probation or something. But should they have to register as a sexual offender?
No, not for something they do. If it's a one-time deal, but I mean. I'm looking in. I broke out the law book here for possession of child pornography. You ready?
Well, I am ready. And also, Justin's back on. You said I think you might have had a question or comment for Justin.
Hey, yeah, Justin, I got you that 8x10. I'll mail it out this week to Rob.
Hold on a second. This is Gino, actually. Let me put Justin on.
Oh, okay. What's the law that you live
RVD, JMC, and the hizzy.
Hey, JMC, what's up, brother? Gino can come back if he wants. Officer X just wanted to tell you something.
What up, Officer X?
Nothing, Justin. I got you that 8x10 you were looking for. I'll put it in the mail to Rob tomorrow.
Dude, that's so awesome. The Bob Backlund one?
You got it, bro.
You're try and act surprised when you get it.
Thanks, Officer X. That's awesome.
motherfucker!
So, hey, all you pedophiles out there, how you feeling about yourself?
AMC, I don't know if Gino told you or not. Did he tell you the invite that I had for them to call and kill themselves on the air?
Totally, dude, that's so awesome. And if they would call in and do it on the air, it would be even cooler. So call your RVD hotline and go ahead and kill yourself.
That pedophiles, that's 347-308-8754. Call, tell us why you're doing it, and we'll go.
Hey, Justin, are you willing to offer any pedophiles free grappling lessons at LA Boxing?
Absolutely. Come on down. But you have to wear "I'm a pedophile" T-shirt when you come in the front door, so everybody knows.
Just because you're hung like a moose doesn't mean you got to do porn.
Right. So, you were saying you had the law for having child pornography in front of you?
Oh, yeah, we got it right in front of us here. We got all this stuff. And I was just looking at
Just because you're hung like a moose doesn't mean you got to do porn.
I'm sorry, go ahead, dude.
And here's the other one that would probably cover sexing, it's called dissemination of obscene matter, which says the suspect not only disseminated, possessed with intent to disseminate obscene matter, which is a felony.
Okay, so this is referring back to the sexting, like kids taking pictures of themselves and sending it. That could be considered child pornography. So what are they looking at then?
Dissemination of obscene matter to minors.
Okay, that sounds pretty technical. What's the penalty?
Right here, the suspect knowingly disseminated or possessed with intent to disseminate matter that is harmful to minors. It's a felony. In Massachusetts state prison, not more than 5 years, or house of correction, not less than 2.5 years. First offense, fine $1,000 to $10,000. Second offense, $5,000 to $20,000. Third and subsequent offense, not less than $10,000, not more than $30,000.
Okay, well, fuck.
Not death,
you know what I mean?
Not death by a vicious hanging or something weird like that? Okay, I don't know. I thought it was
Wouldn't that be great, though, if they brought these assholes, like, to a stadium and you could buy rocks for, like, $10 a piece to throw at them and the money go to abused children?
Well, they probably, if you lived in Afghanistan, you could do that for much less. But, Justin, we were talking about sexting because that's on the news right now. Kids are taking pictures of themselves and sending it to their other friends. This kid had a picture of his girlfriend without her top or something, and they got in a fight, and he sent it out to a few people, and now he's listed as a registered sex offender along with these adults that are fucking little kids. That's a little harsh for those circumstances, right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, kids will be kids, boys will be boys. It's the same thing as passing a note around. You can't hold the kids totally responsible for putting this technology in their hands. I mean, this technology that we have, we can take pictures and videotape of whatever we want and send it to anybody at any time of the day. And that's kind of dangerous in a way. I mean, up to the parents to supervise their kids, up to the parents to make sure the kids don't, use technology for the wrong reasons and to educate them and teach them on such. And, I mean, if you're going to make a 16-year-old a sex offender for taking a picture of his girlfriend's boobies that she consented to, and then when he gets mad at her, send it to his buddies, I mean, sure, he should be reprimanded. He should be reprimanded seriously. But I don't know about being labeled as a sex offender.
Yeah, I agree. I think that there should be definitely a fine and maybe even something with the phone company, for being irresponsible. Something, I don't know. And maybe even something on the record with the phone. I don't know, but probation, yeah, something like that. I don't know. I'm going to Chris from Oregon. Thanks for calling RVD Radio. What up, Chris?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? First,
having a good day, man. Having a good show. I don't know how long the show's going. Fuck, are we going to do a full show, baby?
Yeah, I was hanging out. I've been hanging in there, bud.
Yes, yeah.
As long as you keep it going, we'll keep calling.
All right, well, shit.
Let you know, I started college this last term here, and my major is psychology. I kind of wanted to touch back on the issue of how you would treat these sick bucks from kind of preventing them from doing this. And
cyanide soup.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I want to get your opinion too, Officer X. What would you say? I mean, we're kind of laid back as far as laws goes in the United States compared to other places such as Singapore with your drinking and driving penalty. They frickin' decapitate you over there, right?
That's what happened to James Mansfield. She got in a car accident and got decapitated. Part of Hollywood history. But go ahead and answer that, Officer X, if you would, please.
Yeah, I'm not an expert on Singapore law, but I mean, the penalties is much more.
All right, I don't know. Doesn't anybody? Am I the only one that likes Officer X's theme music that much? So I'm getting the looks from SVD and the crickets on the air. All right, so what do you mean you're not an expert on Singapore law? Are you serious?
No, I mean most places they're a lot stricter. I mean, look at some of these Muslim countries. They don't fuck around with that stuff. I mean, you get caught stealing, they chop your hands off and stuff.
Oh yeah, exactly. And I don't think that that's so bad in certain cases. Another thing is psychologically, you kind of have to get down to the root of where it stems from, and I think a lot of it is if you was to actually read up on this, that certain people, not all, like you talked to the guy that put together the fighting tournament earlier, and he had been affected by that as a young kid, but certain ones kind of, I think it stems from them being violated as children, and then they kind of grow up, and then they kind of turn to it themselves because they don't know how to fix it.
JMC, can you still hear me?
I can still hear you for sure. And yeah, I mean, abuse continues abuse, but where do you break the cycle? And you know, I know some people who are very close to me and that were abused as children, and they don't necessarily become abusers themselves. I know some people do, but
yeah, you definitely have to have
somebody had to be yeah, absolutely. Most of my guys. Thanks, appreciate it. And, you know, Gino appreciates that, too. It was a big deal for him to bring awareness to people. And that's the bottom line. We need to bring awareness to people and understand why these people are doing it. And I don't know if it's just continued abuse or what it is, but somewhere along the line the cycle has to be broken. And if it's through educating yourself psychologically or whatever it need be, or if it's just ridding society and the earth of this problem and these pests, which I probably the safest and best idea. I mean, if you remove something from the planet, it can no longer harm you. So
exactly,
people that are repeating over and over again.
No, though Superman put Colonel Zod in that infinity dimension, and he made it back out, and still came and wreaked havoc on Earth.
And, but Zod was a bad motherfucker. He had nothing to do with being a pedophile.
Harry Slash, I want to tag you on this because you know I'm Marvel, not DC, but is that what happened?
No, it was the Phantom Zone.
Oh, okay, there you go. But I got Colonel Zod right?
General Zod. He was a little...
General Zod, thank you. I grew up on Marvel, not DC, but okay, cool. Well, Justin, I wonder this. I always think about this whenever I'm watching the news and there's a little girl that gets, missing and then found dead somewhere, which unfortunately is very often that I see that on the news. I often wonder what it would be like to be a father of a young girl like that, and I wonder, where you're overstepping the boundaries of protectiveness, because I can only imagine that I would never ever want to let the girl out of my sight.
Well, I mean, you have to trust. The majority of the people out there are good people, and unfortunately, through the media and things, they market these things and let you know exactly what's going on. They don't tell you the good things that are happening so much. Like, there wasn't any coverage on Gino making money for abused children that night, but I'm sure there was plenty of coverage on the 2 or 3 children out of the millions out there that were abused. So, I mean, I think it's up to us to switch, the focus here and what's going on. And I think through that might help change a little bit too. But my daughters right now are both in Florida, in Orlando, going to Disney World, where I'm sure there's plenty of pedophiles walking around with them today. And I have not or we're walking around with them today. It's 6 hours ahead where they are. I'm in Maui where it's 4:30 still in the afternoon. They're home in the hotel sleeping by now. But today, it was quite an eerie experience for me being this far away, not being able to do anything, and knowing that they're walking around with millions and millions of people from all over the world, and any one of them could try to do something to my daughter, and I'm not there to protect them. So yeah, definitely stresses a father out, especially when you have two young girls. And I say girls, the infliction rate against girls is, up to, I think, like 1 in 4. So like 25% of young girls get molested at some time in their life, whether it's, a family member or, whatever it might be, a teacher, pastor, counselor, camp counselor, whatever it might be, friend at school, whoever it might be. So that's quite a high number, and it makes you really want to keep an eye on your daughters and never let them out of your sight. So yeah, you're not far off there thinking that way, but you have to let them out of your sight sometime. You have to let them live life and become who they are and experience their experiences, because sometimes the worst experiences in life make us who we are. And so unfortunately, we got to let them live their lives and in dangerous situations. And without the responsibility as a society to rid ourselves of this, we've left it in the hands of the law, and the law's taken an approach of let's rehabilitate these people psychologically, and we have all seen over and over for years and years.
Let them out. You let them out to recommit the crime. Sure. Well, all right, but to what you said most people are good people, and I believe that. I want to believe that. But you said that you're sure that the media has capitalized on the 2 or 3 out of the millions. But let me ask you this. Have you gone to the National Sexual Offender website and punched in your address to see how many registered sexual offenders live around your area?
No, because I'd be in a ninja mask hunting dudes every night.
It's something you should know, though, because that's one thing that I understand what you're saying, but that to me is something like people that are saying, I don't want to get an AIDS test because I don't want to know, I don't want to find out, or something like that. Where sometimes knowledge is better when it's on your side, and I would think this would be one of those cases.
Right. It'll freak me out. I'll be paranoid. I'll be looking at everybody like they're a pedophile. I'll be punching people in the face. Some people will be like, what's wrong with this guy? He's the menace to society. So I better leave that one alone and leave it for all the other, scared parents out there who aren't going to do anything but point a finger and complain.
All right.
On the same note on the technology, I think that we could actually use that. We have the technology to build really small chips. Just look at the cameras we're making. Now, if we was to put a chip in each one of these fuckers, instead of just, that's why so many of them can't be traced down, because they're putting down fake addresses all over the nation.
Yeah, that's true, but one thing that I say to that is this girl, was her name Haley, I think, that the one that came up, I don't know, this is a different one. Fuck, this is a different one yet. Right before I left for France, so this was about 3 weeks ago, it was on the news, a girl came up missing, and then sure enough, they found the guy. She had been killed and buried, and they had an ankle bracelet on the guy that they could track with a GPS, and that's how they found him. He actually registered, because he had to register every day. He registered before he killed the girl, and he registered afterwards, and then he went to a field and was burying the body, and because of the GPS and the ankle bracelet, they found him while he was burying the body. In that case, a chip wouldn't have really worked out too well.
If it was something like embedded in there, well, yeah. And as far as the registering goes, I think they kind of changed the rules on that. But if you had a chip where they were monitoring everybody all the time with a large database, I don't know.
But you're talking about some super evil shit right there, dude. Putting chips in people's bodies, dude. I'm talking like super evil shit. Hey, look put the guy out of his fucking misery and put a bullet in his fucking face, and everybody will be a lot happier, dude. Seriously. Let's just make it simple as can be. Pretty soon you put chips in people, there'll be pedophile watch, there'll be reality shows watching these guys cruise around and trying to stalk people and stuff, and it'll be ridiculous. You know what I mean? Think about this. Just think about the shock value in that. What are we doing here? Why are we giving these guys a second chance? You can't give these people a second chance. You can't give them a first chance. If you know that if the kid never gets a second chance, then the kid turns into an abuser himself. Where do we stop this cycle? And then what? We lock him up for the rest of his and put a chip in him? What do we do? That's kind of scary when you think about it.
The whole firing squad stoning issue, like you guys were talking earlier. I was just trying to get a way to for technology.
Yeah, no, I think it's cool, but like they've been talking about putting chips in people for a while now for all kinds of different reasons, and banking institutions have been thinking about doing it for your credit cards and whatnot, and it's a very, very scary situation when you talk about microchipping people.
That's very true. Yeah, I'd rather fucking just.
There's nothing like that, penis breath.
Hey, yo, RVD, how about get these motherfuckers and castrated them?
Oh, you know, believe it or not, I think that's not enough either, because although they're not going to be able to fuck the kids anymore, they can still hurt them. I believe it's the exact same case I was talking about where the guy killed the girl and was found burying her in the field. What happened there, according to the story, was that he was trying to rape her, and apparently he couldn't get it up or something, and she laughed at him. This little 13-year-old girl, I think, she was laughing at him, and so he strangled her and killed her because he wasn't able to fuck her. I think if we castrate them, that they're still going to be the same monsters.
Yeah.
So
guaranteed.
Yeah,
I gotta go teach the case at INI Training Center in Maui. My little child warriors are getting ready for a tournament in 2 weeks, and I'm rolling in there to teach them the secret techniques that they can use to protect themselves against pedophiles and also to win a tournament and bring victory home to INI Training Center. So once again, thanks for having me on. Thanks for Gino, man, and Officer X, you're the man, dude. Appreciate that photo. Keep up the good work. All you Fonzie Daddy-O, I love you, brother. And I'll see you in the morning. Peace.
Peace. Bye, man. Thanks, Nancy.
Pakalolo.
Yeah, mahalo. Pakalolo. I like that better. Yeah, Justin is coming back.
Hawaii's the balls.
Dude, I love it. That's like my favorite place. Out of all the travels that I've been to, I love. Been trying to talk her into going. We got to get out there. And actually, we're going to go and stay at Bret Hart's house when we do go, because I don't have to talk. Yeah, but you know, I've been wanting to go there since for the last couple months, man. I just love it there. I recharge there. It's the fucking everything. It's the land, the air, the water, the atmosphere.
People are awesome.
People are awesome. It's fucking it's everything, dude. So
it's heaven on earth, man.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna go to John from Arizona, who's been waiting for a while. What's up, John?
Hey, Rob. You and I met back at Comic-Con in 07 and then again in 08.
Right on.
I wanted to say I'm a personal big fan. Also want to send my best to your wife, Sonia. I'm a cancer survivor myself.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it's been 8 years now, so, I mean, I barely even remember that it happened anymore.
Wow. It never came back, huh?
No, it didn't. I was real fortunate, and
how did you treat it?
Chemo and radiation.
Really? What? If you don't mind, what stage were you diagnosed with?
Honestly, I don't know what stage it was. It was a type of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Okay.
It manifested itself in my femur on my right leg instead of a lymph node. And the doctor said, we caught it, 6 months after your leg inflamed, and we were just really lucky to catch it because that type of lymphoma spreads really quick.
Wow, well, congratulations.
Congratulations, son.
Yeah, Sonia says congratulations on kicking its ass. Harry Slash, you don't have a website for that fundraiser on lymphoma. Say it, baby. Lymphoma. You don't have a website yet for that, right?
I think they have information on joeyramone.com.
Okay. And in the next several weeks we'll have more information on that. Huge fundraiser that I'm talking to Harry about us possibly contributing to. We'll check that out. So yeah, John, we're glad that you're able to be here with us tonight.
Yeah, and on the subject that we're talking about tonight, I have what's called obsessive compulsive disorder.
Okay.
So I tend to overanalyze and overthink and overprocess things in my mind.
You remind me of a friend of mine. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I mean, I can understand a little bit of the compulsion side.
Okay.
That people go through, not the sexual attraction, of course, but
the obsession with
that you have to go and you have to do something. My thing was washing my hands until they would, rip apart and bleed. So it got pretty bad.
Well, I don't know if you've ever seen the movie The Aviator that Leo DiCaprio did, where he plays Howard Hughes.
Yeah.
That was pretty awesome movie, and it showed in there. I'm a Hollywood history buff. You're gonna find that out by listening to these shows. But anyway, he was very obsessive, compulsive, and he had Kleenexes all over the place, and he had to wipe everything off with Kleenex before he touched it. He had a never-ending supply of Kleenex, and when people would come into his room, they would have to use Kleenex for everything. A Kleenex for the doorknob, for the remote control. It was really crazy, and the guy, was extremely. He was a genius, probably. He did so much for travel, for the airplane advancement, and he was obviously extremely successful and one of the wealthiest men in history. But automatically that pops up in the head when you tell me about the thing with washing hands, because that was one of his also. So maybe there'll be some big money in it for you.
Well, I hope so. I'm the guy who gave you the trade paperback, the euthanasia trade paperback.
Is that the one that has like the characters that are based on me and Sabu?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So you've emailed me a few times too, and I suck at responding to you, but I think I have a couple times, right?
Yeah, a couple times. I was just calling because I didn't know what the subject was going to be tonight, and when I logged on, I was just like wowed by it. I thought it was going to be a bit lighter fare, but...
yeah, well, I like to really deep into people's thoughts, and I like sharing thoughts and inspiring people to think, and if they don't know how they feel about it, then at least after listening to the show, they're going to have some feelings about it, because it's something that you just can't ignore. It's fucking frightening. I get what you're saying. So you understand the obsessiveness about them feeling like they have to do something. So they have some kind of faulty wiring in their brain that makes them sexually attracted to underdeveloped, underage children. And then on top of that, they have OCD, which makes them obsess about it. And it makes them feel like they need to do something about it because it escalates. The person that we knew said, well, he started by someone gave him some pornography and he watched it. He started with that, and then he started getting like more pornography, and then he started like fantasizing about him, and then started talking to kids. And he said he hadn't acted past that, but it was obvious that he was escalating. And I don't know, if he's done anything. Of course, I wouldn't know. I certainly hope not. This person that we knew, but I guess OCD is it's a disorder that I'm sure doctors try to treat and then will take your money for. I don't know if it's fixable or not, but I guess that's an important factor to throw in there, is that if you have an obsessive disorder about something that's already fucked up, then I guess that probably adds a whole lot to screw up your perspective on it. That's a pretty good point.
Yeah, and that's the lead-in. That's where, people who have that predilection of the obsessiveness need to analyze where they are in that spectrum and then seek that help. That's the basis to stop your escalation. So. Yeah.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. Appreciate you throwing in your 2 cents there. Yeah, I know at least a friend, maybe a couple friends, one person in particular that's definitely OCD, and he drives a lot of people nuts because he obsesses about the craziest stuff. Like why? Because I'm the opposite. Like people would worry about a lot of people would often worry in situations where I don't worry, and maybe that's where people say that I'm fearless, because that could be in the face of physical confrontation, or it could be in life situations. But I am a man of faith that everything works out fine, and
I've been
part of.
trying to get your internet going for like the last.
Good. Hey, listen, Daryl from Michigan. You, sir, are on RVD Radio.
Hold on. Hey, what's up, Rob?
How are you?
Oh, I'm doing good, man. Hey, now you remember reading about the Catholic priests and all them touching the little boys?
Yeah, it was in the news for a long time, and it still pops up now and then. Yeah.
Yeah, man, I thought that was messed up, you know, and they kind of like ruined their whole entire faith and everything. You know what I mean?
They did, and yeah, I mean, I'll tell you, I write stories sometimes that you never see because there's something I'll do something with someday, and it was probably like 10 years ago I was writing this story, and I had a bad guy that was a priest and a bad guy that was a cop, and I thought that the reason being because because what's on the surface isn't always what's under there. That's what I wanted to prove, and I thought that these were really stretches of the imagination, that a cop and that a priest could really be the bad guys. And after I wrote that, I've seen so many cases since then, and the scandals came out after that, to where it wasn't even original anymore. It was almost like I was just copying like headline news. And I never expected that, but I always did believe that people are just people, and they can be good people or bad people regardless of their occupation.
Right.
I've always believed that. Officer X is one of the coolest people that I know. He happens to be a police officer, and it's not who he is, it's what he does for a living. That's how I feel about him. And that's not to say anything about cops, you know, other than a lot of them are more of a certain way, and Officer X is not a certain way in that respect. I have other friends that are police officers too, and they're more military-like. They come across more like enforcers than one of the boys. I guess that's the best way to put it, you know. But
fuck that.
Yeah.
Well, I did like his theme song though, his little theme song you guys were playing.
You did like it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that was entertaining.
See?
We gotta see if we can get Harry to get us a better beat.
And also, Rob, I would like to know if there's any way that you could if you could contact me back. I talked to Sabu yesterday about you possibly being on my show.
Contact you back to talk to Sabu yesterday?
Yeah, I talked to Sabu yesterday.
Oh, you did?
About possibly
You don't have
being
him
on my
chained
show
up
with
in
him.
your basement, do you?
No, I don't have him chained up. No, but I talked to him yesterday, so I'm helping him get bookings and everything, and he said that he'd try to talk to you about getting you on our show.
What kind of show?
It's at 12:30 on Saturday or on Sundays.
Well, email me at my MySpace, and I'll keep an eye out for it, dude.
Okay.
Info. All right, cool, man.
All right.
Where are you
very
from
much,
in
Rob.
Michigan?
I'm from Grand Rapids. I actually met you in Muskegon. The same
Well,
night
how
I met
many
you
times have we met, man? Have I known you my whole life?
No, you haven't known me. You're nice. I met you and Andrew Martin together.
Okay, right on. Andrew Martin.
I was the tall black guy with the afro.
Oh, I thought you were, and you did euthanasia?
Huh?
And you did that comic book, Euthanasia, or whatever it's called?
No, I just met you guys backstage. That was all.
Oh.
It was shortly after, I think it was November 2006. It was forever ago, but.
RVD, motherfucker!
That's right, Daddy.
Awesome. All right, cool. Well, thanks for calling.
Well, thank you, Rob.
Right on, man. So, shit. I'm not sure, did Daryl contribute to our pedophile subject at all?
No, Daryl was fucked up.
Daryl's still on, so don't be offended by Officer X.
To the fucking subject.
I have no control over putting people on mute and taking them off. This switchboard is beneath me. I'm above this. I should have show pie. Yes, this is shits. Cool. Well, guess what? We got like 5 minutes left in the show, so I guess we ended up doing the whole thing after all.
Told you.
Yeah. Well, fuck, dude. I mean, there you go. Like I said, next week, not looking to do it at the same time slot, so we'll probably contact you or send a message out, however you normally hear about it, most likely with a different time, different day, something, I don't know. I will still be in town. The Wrong Side of Town Productions is supposed to start the following week, as has been the case for quite some time.
Don't get me started.
Yeah. So, Fonzie Daddy, we are looking forward to seeing you. Do you have any Bob Backlund stories you can share with Officer X, since him and Bob are real close?
No, not really. Just that, he used to carry around this blender and juice machine and drink carrot juice all the time, and he turned orange in Florida.
Didn't he? He's one of the guys that's like that's known for he kind of works out and warms up all day long, doesn't he?
Yeah, he used to do that. He used to do that in Florida when Vince sent him down. Instead of going to the gym, he'd get to the arena early, and that was his workout. It saved the gym money, and just do the Hindu squats and the duck walk and the push-ups and all that shit.
Right on. I heard Iron Mike Sharp used to always do that too.
Yeah, he sure did. Had those little blocks, the wooden blocks, and do the push-ups and the hose and do work out his arms and shit. Yeah, a lot of old timers used to do that.
Yeah, and
it's Rob. It's almost funny some of the stuff they do, because when we did that show in Allentown a couple of weeks ago, we went to the Gold's Gym in Allentown, and he does these things with weight bars, like with the Sheik's clubs and all sorts of stuff. You kind of stuff you like, the little unorthodox,
Right, I bet.
Shane Douglas at the gym that day too.
Who was?
Shane Douglas was in there that day too, in Allentown in the gym.
Oh, right on. Yeah. I bet you everyone's kind of staring at them, right? Like, man, what the fuck are they doing?
Oh, yeah. He's into that gravity boots, too, hanging upside down by his ankles and stuff and doing sit-ups.
Nice. Awesome.
Yeah, it takes all kinds, bro. And I meant to tell you, too, there was this woman at the show who had a perfect tattoo on one arm of the Sandman and the other one of Sabu.
Really?
Yeah, on a chick. I couldn't believe it.
She's hardcore.
Yeah, I asked her where the RVD one was. She asked me if I knew we should get one done.
RVD and Fonzie, man. We'll get that one together.
Oh, yeah, it'd be good.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, fuck, man. We did another show. We're back from France. It was a good tour. I am planning on putting a new blog up, but usually I plan on that for several days before it happens. But hopefully tomorrow I'll put a new blog up at robvandam.com and at MySpace/5StarComics, my official MySpace site. So check that out. I'll catch you up on stuff I need to catch you up on. RVD TV DVD store release date is May 2nd, so hopefully you'll see some promotion behind that. And, glad to be home. How about you, baby?
So glad to be home.
Yeah.
Did they fix the sauna yet?
No, they have not. It was on back order. But they did a lot of work on the yard, but that's something that they're still working on. Still working on it, but that's all right. It'd be nice to have it. It'd be a great way to beat jet lag, to sit in my sauna and sweat it out. But I'll do it old school way. That's it, guys. Show's over. Thanks, Fonzie. Thanks, Officer X. Thanks, Harry Slash. And thank you, Michael Porter. Thank you, Blog Talk Radio, Nikki, and Justin McCauley, and Gino, and
thanks, Indian Princess.
Thanks, Indian Princess, and Merci, Sonia says, was BJ Penn on the show? No, thanks, BJ Penn. Oh, he was mentioned. Awesome. So, cool. We'll get back at you about next week, and everybody, until then, enjoy life, enjoy the day.
That's right,
Peace.
Daddy.
Enjoy the night, enjoy the week, enjoy the fucking month. Live it.
Drop that down! The whole fucking show! Drop that down! The whole fucking show! Damn, a nigga! Damn, some nigga! Man, show. I will fly high. 5-star frog splash. You can't stop me. 5-star frog splash. Drop it down. The whole fucking show. Drop it down. The whole fucking show. It's all about the yin and the yang. The balance of power that's in. You can't stop the yin and the yang. The balance of power that's in. Drop it down. The whole fucking show. Drop it down. The whole fucking show. I will levitate. Flip kick you in the yell.